It's been a year since Star Wars The Force Awakens came out, and last night I got to go out and see Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and I'm going to chat about it right now with you. Don't listen to this or watch this unless you have seen the movie. Please, I'm begging you. I want to try and keep this short, so I'm going to waffle right on through. Otherwise, I'm going to go on for hours because I liked it that much. Starting with the no crawl at the beginning, which apparently loads of people knew wasn't going to be there, but I didn't know, so I was like, what? Anyway, I can deal with that. It's my most anticipated film of the year, despite all the reshoots and the rumours. So what did we end up getting? To me, we got an old style war movie. Despite being Star Wars, there wasn't a whole lot of CGI. Obviously the ships and the space battles, but on the ground shoot level it was all pretty practical, and I really liked that. It just made it more awesome for me. But then I'm not a huge fan of CGI. I prefer characters and character building. So speaking of that, we got some awesome characters, but the real gripe would be that we didn't really get to know any of them overly, other than Jyn, maybe a little bit of Cassian, and K2SO, which was just a standout for me. I really enjoyed him. Alan Tudyk did a great job there. And finally, that gaping hole in the plotline of Star Wars has been closed. It was Jyn's Papa Galen who purposely put the weakness in the Death Star. Speaking of Star Wars, oh my god, the shout outs to fans, not sledgehammer like, more like gentle taps, like the blue milk in Jyn's kitchen, which obviously brought back Aunt Beru straight away. The death sentence on 12 Systems guys, and the Walrus Bubba guy, that was brilliant. Totally loved that. The Death Star being set up, with all the buttons and everything, just, amazing. R2-D2 and C-3PO, obviously. And when the robot guy said, "I've got a bad feeling about this," just brilliant. And Tarkin, oh my god, like I figured that he had to be there because he's such a key element of Star Wars, but the fact that he was all CGI was just amazing. Did slip into the uncanny valley a little bit here and there when he was moving and things, but people that I was with didn't even know that it wasn't real, so it must have been pretty darn good. What else? Trying to think. The CGI. The CGI in it was amazing. Like, Tarkin aside, I know that he stepped into the uncanny valley just a smidge, as did Princess Leia, but overall it felt like the space battles and things were like done with models for the most part. At least like the crashes and things like that mixed with CGI, and I really loved that. I thought that was brilliant. What else? Oh my god, Vader. How amazing was Vader? Like, we got to see the real Darth Vader in this movie, like his pained body in that tank, like from Empire, and the fact that he just absolutely kicked everybody's butt in that corridor. Like, it was, I can't even. I wish he'd been in it more, because I felt like maybe they could have taken Tarkin out and put a little bit more Vader in, but I suppose maybe then it wouldn't have been as special. Just amazing. The secondary characters as well, they were really good, but I couldn't even tell you any of their names, to be honest. I mean, when I'm talking to my friends about it, we say things like, the blind ninja guy, or the pilot, or the ninja guy's sidekick, which is a bit of a shame, but still good. They just needed to be more fleshed out, which I think was what I was getting at when I said we didn't really get to know the characters overly, which is a wee bit of a shame. Anyway, I don't want to waffle on for hours, which I'm sure I could, because I've got so much that I want to say about it. Excuse me, but we can talk in the comments either here or Facebook. So I guess I should wrap it up. I loved it. I know it wasn't perfect, but I loved it. A bit of a slow start, but once it kicked in, I just thought it was brilliant. And that ending, you could essentially just edit straight onto Star Wars. It was just perfect. I can't even, like, the feeling of seeing that happen and then it just end made me want to watch Star Wars straight away. Obviously it was super sad because all of the heroes died, but I had kind of realise that was going to happen. So I don't think I was as hard hit as I usually would, because I'm usually the one sobbing in the cinema. But I didn't actually cry at this one, which is strange, because I was gutted, obviously, that they died, but had to happen. What else? Just make sure I've covered everything. I just thought it was great. Let me know what you thought, either here or over at Facebook, because I would really like to get into a conversation about it. You probably noticed things that I didn't notice. I know that there were other little fan shout outs. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. There was something in it that really annoyed me as well, and I thought, why was that in there? What was that? The tentacle thing. The mind-reading tentacle guy. Why? I honestly, I don't understand why that was in there. It reminded me of the tentacle thing in Force Awakens, and I hated that as well. I just didn't understand why that was in there. The other thing, that's my dog coughing in the background. The other thing that stuck out as like a little fan shout out was when Bail Organa said he was going home. I was like, oh no, don't go home. But obviously that had to happen as well. And the other thing, Guerrera, he kind of reminded me of Darth Vader a little bit, like a poor man's version, because he was kind of like part robotic, and he had the breathing thing on, the wheeze, and he was quite dark. Yeah, I'm sure that probably wasn't meant to be any kind of shout out, but it just reminded me of. Oh, and Galen's hologram, Galen Erso's hologram thing, that was pretty close to Leia's R2D2 hologram, I thought, as well. And did you notice that Jyn never said "I rebel" like she does in the trailer? I waited for the whole movie for her to say it. I thought she was going to say it in that meeting room. She never said it. I was like, oh, unless I've missed it, you guys can let me know. I think I've waffled on enough. So hit up the comments. Thanks so much for listening, if you've taken the time to listen. I know my voice isn't the best, but I appreciate it anyway. So let me know what you thought about the new Star Wars movie, and may the Force be with you. Thanks a bunch.